So in this video, I'm going to go over chapter 4 and hopefully other chapters from the Betty Azar Using and Understanding English Grammar. So chapter 4, using the present progressive. So when we use the present progressive, we're talking about something that's happening right now. Unlike the simple present, where you're talking about something that's happening every day as a habit, the present progressive is an action that's not complete. It's an action that keeps happening and keeps happening and keeps happening while something else happens. Whereas the simple present is a closed and completed action. The present progressive is not a finished action. It is an action that is still continuing to happen in the present right now. For instance, right now I am giving this lecture. Right now you are listening to an English grammar video. So what's happening right now as it's happening, that's the present progressive. And another name for the present progressive is the present continuous, meaning that it's an action that is still continuing and continuing. So I am sitting in class right now. Rita is sitting in class right now. You are sitting in class right now. When I say this sentence, I am in class, I am sitting, I'm not standing. The action of sitting is happening right now, and I am saying the sentence at the same time as I am reading this. Right now I am reading this grammar paper. I am teaching a lesson on present progressive. I am teaching a lesson in chapter 4. So as you can see, this is something that you are listening to right now that is happening right now. And so when you have verb tenses in the ing formation, that is known as present progressive tense. So here you would say that, what are you doing right now? I am reading. What are you writing now? I am writing a paper. Where are you sitting? I am sitting in a classroom. Are you standing or are you lying down? Actually, I'm doing neither. I am sitting down. I am counting these sentences. I am waving to my friend. I am not looking at the ceiling as I am reading this paper. So it's something that's happening right now. So this rabbit is eating a carrot. This monkey is painting a clown. This elephant is sitting and reading a newspaper wearing his glasses. This tiger is talking on his cell phone. This donkey is sleeping. This cat is drinking a cup of tea. So all of this is, this dog is playing the piano, this bird is taking a shower, and this giraffe is sticking its head out the window in order to drive its car. Or this giraffe is driving a car. Rosa, what are you doing today? I'm wearing a white blouse and a blue skirt. What is Jin Wan wearing? He's wearing jeans and a sweatshirt. What color is his sweatshirt? It's gray with red letters. What else is Jin Wan wearing? He's wearing sneakers, white socks, and a wristwatch. So what are you wearing today? So today I'm wearing a dress. And I'm wearing a pink dress. That's what I'm wearing. I am not wearing earrings. Are you daydreaming right now? No, I am not daydreaming. I am teaching English right now. And I am reading these words. So as you can tell, when I am doing the present perfect, I am, I am telling you what I'm doing right now. He is talking on the cell phone while drinking his water, while sitting in front of his laptop with his books placed on his desk, while he is sitting with his knees crossed. He is smiling, riding, running, stopping, raining. He is sleeping, pushing, counting, fixing the computer, writing a paper, growing plants in his garden. He is fixing the computer or the photo machine, the copy machine. So spelling, smiling, writing, sitting, running, reading, raining, standing, pushing. So these are all the ways in which you can have ing for your, he is drawing a picture on the board. She is you are clapping your hands. He is walking around the room. I am waving at a student. I am signing my name on the board. He is counting his fingers out loud. She is hitting her desk with her hand. He is carrying his book on the top of his head. She is biting her finger. He is looking at the ceiling. She is tearing a piece of paper. He is singing, whistling, sleeping, snoring, standing up, stretching, sneezing, coughing, chewing gum, holding his grammar book between his ankles, all at the same time. So the present progressive negatives. I am not sleeping. Ben isn't listening. Mr. and Mrs. Brown are not watching TV. So present progressive, am not watching, is not watching, are not watching. So Mr. and Mrs. Brown are not watching TV. Ben is not listening to his teacher. Nancy isn't standing up, she is sitting down. Anita is listening to music. Anita is not reading a book. She is not playing the piano. Sophia is reading a magazine. She is not reading a book. The birds are sitting on a telephone wire. They are not flying around. So these are all, what are you doing right now? So the present progressive questions is Mary sleeping? Yes, she is. No, she's not. No, she isn't. Are you watching TV? Yes, I am. No, I'm not. Where is Mary sleeping? In bed. What is Ted watching? A movie. Why are you watching TV? Because I liked this program. Is the teacher helping her students? Yes, she is. Is John riding a bicycle? Yes, he is. Am I sleeping? No, I'm not. Are the students watching TV? No, they are not. Is it raining outside? No, it is not raining outside. Is the rabbit eating an ice cream? Is the monkey riding on the blackboard? Is the elephant sitting in a bathtub? Is the tiger sneezing? Is the giraffe doing his water? Is the bird sleeping? Is the cat reading a book? Is the dog singing? Is the giraffe talking on the telephone? Is the giraffe drinking water? Are you writing? Yes, I am. Is he speaking? No, I'm not. So are you sitting, standing, smiling, answering questions, sleeping, speaking English, looking out the window, writing in your book, talking to a friend, or asking a question? So what are you reading? My grammar book. What are you doing? I'm doing an exercise. What are you writing? I'm writing a sentence in my grammar book. Where are you sitting? In the back of the room. Are you living in a house or in an apartment? I'm living in an apartment. Is Roberto wearing jeans and a sweatshirt today? Or what is Roberto wearing? Jeans and a sweatshirt. Why are you happy? Or are you happy? So all of these are about the present progressive. So the simple present versus the present progressive. So the simple present expresses habits or usual activities. The present progressive expresses actions that are happening right now while the action is speaking. So simple present, I sit in class every day. So that's a habit. I am sitting in class right this second. The teacher writes on the board every day. The teacher is writing on the board right now. Do you sit in class every day? Are you sitting in class right now? Does the teacher write on the board every day? Is the teacher writing on the board right now? So the simple present just talks about habits and completed actions. And the simple present uses do and does as helping verbs in questions, whereas the present progressive uses am, is, and are in questions. Are you sitting? Does the teacher write? Is the teacher writing? Negatives. I don't sit in class every day. I'm not sitting in class every day. The teacher does not write on the board every day. The teacher is not writing on the board right now. So the simple present uses do and does as helping verbs in negatives, while the present progressive uses am and is as helping verbs in the negative. So Ahmed talks to his classmates every day. Right now, he is talking to Yoko. He is not talking to his friend Omar right now. It is raining a lot in the city, but it is not raining right now. Well, this one is, it rains a lot in the city, but it is not raining right now. The sun shines every day. Is it raining a lot in your hometown? Hannah and Anna sit next to each other in class every day, so they often help each other with their grammar exercises. Right now, Anna is helping Hans with an exercise on present verb tenses. Roberto cooks his own dinner every evening. Right now he is in his kitchen. He is cooking rice and beans. Is he cooking meat for his dinner tonight? No, he is a vegetarian. He does not eat meat. Do you eat meat? Are you a vegetarian? So that's how you tell the difference between the simple present and then the present progressive. The simple present is something that happens every day, and then the present progressive is something that's happening right now. So that's the difference between the two. So if you're going to say every day, then you use John sleeps late every day. Right now, John is sleeping. John is writing his book. John writes in his book every day. Right now, John is reading his book. Every day, John reads his book. Right now, John is brushing his teeth. Every day, John brushes his teeth. Right now, Mary is eating her salad. Mary eats her salad every day. Right now, Robert is snoring in the bedroom. Every night, Robert snores in the bedroom. Right now, I am reciting this grammar lesson. Every day, I teach English grammar. So that's the difference. Right now, I'm teaching you this lesson on present progressive, and every day I teach English grammar. Every day I teach ESL. Every day I interact with students. So when I use the simple present, it's something I do every day, and then the present progressive is something I'm doing right now. So right now I am finishing this chapter on the present progressive. So he is riding his bicycle. He is listening to music. She is swimming. She is watching TV right now. He is playing the guitar. He is playing tennis. She is drinking her tea. He is walking. He is sitting on his porch while talking on his phone, and he is painting his fence. So here are some non-action verbs not used in the present progressive. I'm hungry right now. I want an apple. So you can't say I am wanting an apple. You have to say I want an apple. So here are some non-action verbs that we do not use in the present progressive. Dislike, hate, like, love, need, want, hear, see, smell, taste, believe, not, know, think, and understand. And so here you cannot say, I am not hearing his words. I am not seeing this. So some verbs are not used in the present progressive. They are called non-action verbs. Want is a non-action verb. Want expresses a physical or emotional need, not an action. Hear is a non-action verb. Hear expresses a sensory experience, not an action. So when we use the simple present verbs, it has to be some kind of action. It cannot be some kind of sensation or some kind of state of mind or some kind of desire. Those are the kind of non-action verbs that we do not use in the present progressive. So you cannot say, so here, Alice is in her room right now. And then here you have an action. She is reading her book. She likes the book. So liking the book is not an action. It's not something that you get up and you do with your hands and run with your feet. Liking is a state of mind. So when you have something that's a state of mind or something emotional, then we do not use it we do not use it for present progressive. So she likes the book is a state of mind. Therefore, it's not an action, so we don't use it in the present progressive. I know Jessica Jones. She's in my class. Once again, that's a state of mind. In other words, I either know Jessica Jones or I don't know who she is. The teacher is talking to us right now. So talking is an action. So you can use that in the present progressive. I understand everything she's saying. Once again, understand is a state of mind, so it cannot be used as a present progressive. Mike is at a restaurant right now. He is eating dinner. So eating is an action. He likes the food. It tastes good. Once again, those are either state of mind or sensory experiences. So those two kinds of verbs, cannot be used in the present progressive. I am smelling gas. Are you smelling it too? And so that is also an action of smelling. Jason is telling us a story. I believe his story. I think that his story is true. So believe and think is a state of mind. So you cannot use that in the present progressive. Someone is smoking a cigar. It smells terrible. I hate cigars. So when you have I hate cigars is a state of mind, so it cannot be used in the present progressive. He is holding a kitten in his hand. He loves the kitten. Mr. Smith is smiling. And so he loves the kitten cannot be used as a present progressive because it is a state of mind of him, Mr. Allen, loving his kitten. And so here you have a what do you like? I like ice cream. What are babies around the world like? Babies around the world are all cute. What do you want? I want to be rich and successful and happy. What do children around the world want? They all want to be loved. What do you love? I love my family. What do teenagers around the world love? Teenagers around the world want respect. What do you dislike or do you hate? I hate math. What do people around the world dislike? People around the world dislike war. What do you need? Everyone needs love. What do elderly people around the world need? Elderly people around the world need respect and purpose. So here, see, look, at, watch, and listen. And so see is a non-action verb, look at is an action verb, and watch is an action verb. Hear is a non-action verb, and listen is an action verb. So when you have a non-action verb like see, you cannot use it in the present progressive. I see many things in this room. I'm looking at the clock. Bob is watching TV. I'm in my apartment. I'm trying to study. I hear music from the next apartment. The music is loud. Here is a non-action verb. Hearing is an unplanned act. It expresses a physical reaction. I'm in my apartment. I'm studying. I have a tape recorder. I'm listening to music. I like to listen to music when I study. And so listen to is an action verb because listening happens for a purpose. So I am sitting in class right now. I always sit in the same seat every day. So once again, we're reviewing the difference between a present progressive in which you have an action that's happening right now, and then the simple present is just something that happens every day. So Ali is speaking Arabic, but right now he speaks English. Right now we are doing an exercise in class. We do exercises in class every day. I'm in class now. I look at my classmates, or I'm looking at my classmates. Kim is writing in his book. Francisco is looking out the window. Yoko is biting her pencil. Abdullah is smiling. Maria is sleeping. Jungbo is chewing gum. So these are all the things that right now that the people in his class are doing. The person on the bench in the picture on page 116 is Barbara. She is an accountant. She works for the government. She has an hour for lunch every day. She often eats lunch in the park. She usually brings a sandwich and some fruit with her to the park. She usually sits on a bench, but sometimes she sits on the grass. While she's at the park, she watches people and animals. She watches joggers and squirrels. She relaxes when she eats at the park. So all of this is something that happens to Barbara every day as a habit. So all of these things are habits that happen every day. So everything is in the simple present. In this one, this is something that's happening right now as this person is looking at what his classmates are doing right now. So here you have everything in the present progressive because it's something that's happening right now. Here you have everything in the simple past because it expresses a habit. Right now, I'm looking at a picture of Barbara. She is not at home in the picture. She is at the park. She is sitting on a bench. She is eating her lunch. A jogger is running on a path through the park. A squirrel is sitting on the ground in front of Barbara. The squirrel is eating a nut. Barbara is watching the squirrel. She always watches squirrels when she eats lunch in the park. Some ducks are swimming in the pond, and some birds are flying in the sky. A policeman is riding a horse. He rides a horse through the park every day. Near Barbara, a family is having a picnic. They always go on a picnic every week. So you notice that in this paragraph, every time I express a habit of something that happens every day, then I use the simple present. Then when I talk about something that's happening right now, then I use the present progressive. Think about and think that. I think about my family every day. I am thinking about grammar right now. So ideas about my family are on my mind every day. So therefore I use something that happens every day as a habit, simple present. Then something that's happening right now, I use the simple present. I think that Susie is lazy. Sue thinks that I am lazy. I think that the weather is nice. I think that Mike is a nice person. I think Mike is a nice person. So in my opinion, Sue is lazy. I believe that Sue is lazy. People use think that when they want to say or state their beliefs. The present progressive is often used with think about. The present progressive is almost never used with think that. Incorrect. I am thinking that Sue is lazy. F and G have the same meaning. People often omit that after think, especially in speaking. So if you say, I think that Mike is a nice person, I think Mike is a nice person has the exact same meaning. It's just that people leave out the that. You could also say, I think Sue is lazy. Sue thinks I am lazy. I think the weather is nice. So in all of these sentences, I could also take out that, just like F and G. People in this city are friendly, kind, cold. I think that people in this city are friendly. The food at Sam's restaurant is delicious. Baseball is a boring game. Football is much more interesting than baseball to watch. Golf is really boring to watch. Oh, I think that baseball is boring. I think that football is much more interesting to watch than baseball. I think that the weather today is nice. I think that my classmates are nice. Right now I'm thinking about English grammar. In my opinion, English grammar is easy. In my opinion, soccer is fun. I think that my parents are selfless. I think this school is rigorous. I think about my parents all the time. I think that grammar is easy. In my opinion, grammar is easy. So that's how you would use think about. So which one would you use? Anita and Pablo are watching TV right now. Are you writing a letter to your parents? No, I'm studying. I don't like to write letters. Jack has 6 telephones. I don't believe you. No one needs 6 telephones in one apartment. When I want to know the time, I look at a clock. Do you know Fatima? Yes, I do. I think she is a very nice person. Where is John? Upstairs or downstairs? Oh no, Ron is sneezing. He is allergic to cats. The teacher often doesn't start on time. You look sad. Yes, I am thinking about my family back in my country. I miss them. Okay, chapter 5, talking about the present. You will hear, what time is it? It's 10 a.m. Oh, that's for hearing. Okay, so what day is it? It's Monday. What month is it? It's September. What year is it? It is 2023. What's the date today? It's September 15. Or you can also say it's the 15th of September. What time is it? It's 9 o'clock. It's 9 a.m. In English, people use it to express or to talk about time. It's Tuesday. It's March 14th. It's 10:30. It's March. It is 6:15. What day is it? What year is it? Prepositions. We have class at 1 o'clock. I have an appointment with the doctor at 3 o'clock. We sleep at night. My birthday is in October. I was born in 1989. We have class in the morning. Bob has class in the afternoon. I study in the evening. I have class on Monday. I was born on October 31st. We have class from 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock. So when you have in, at, on, from, they can be used as prepositions of time to tell what time it is, a specific month, a specific year, whether something is happening in the morning, afternoon, evening, or on a specific day, week, or time. We have class at 8 o'clock. We have class at 10 and at 11. I have class at 5 o'clock in the morning, and I work until 5 in the afternoon. I study at 5 o'clock in the 10 o'clock in the evening. I sleep at 10 p.m. at night. I was born in May. I was born in 1988. I was born on May 21st. I was born on May 21st, 1988. The post office isn't open on Sundays. The post office is open from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. through Monday through Saturday. The post office closes at 5 p.m. And that's it, I think. So here you could practice some more. I was born in July. I was born on July 7th. My name is Pablo. I was born in 1980. I was born on June 24th. My name is Susie. I go to class at 8:15 in the morning. I go to class at 7. My name is Susie. Hi, my name is Pablo. I was born in July. I was born on July 24th, and I go to class at 5 o'clock, no, not 5 o'clock, 8 a.m. in the morning. So here, it's sunny today. It's hot and humid. It's a nice day. In English, people usually use it when they talk about weather. What's the weather like in Istanbul in January? How's the weather in Moscow in the summer? So people commonly ask about the weather by asking or by saying, what's the weather like and how's the weather? So how's the weather today? It's hot. How's the weather today? It's warm. It's cool. It's chilly. It's not cold. It's not freezing. And it's not below freezing. And then this helps you change from Celsius to Fahrenheit and Fahrenheit to Celsius, which I'm not going to go over since this is an English class and not a math class. Suffice it to say that in the United States, we use Fahrenheit, and everywhere else in the world, as you already know, everybody else uses Celsius. And that's because Fahrenheit was used in England, and a lot of the measurements like yards, inches, Fahrenheit, all originated in England. So England and the United States, I think, are the only countries in the world that does not use the metric system and does not use Celsius. So that's why, because English originated from Britain, and so Americans inherited also the British style of measurement, such as not using the metric system and using Fahrenheit, inches, and yards, just as an aside. So that's a different lesson. There plus be. There is a bird in the tree. So a bird is the subject. There are four birds in the tree. So here the plural subject for birds takes the plural verb are. The singular subject a bird takes the singular verb is. So this is subject-verb agreement. So when you have a singular subject, you take a singular verb. You have a plural subject, you take a plural verb. There's a bird in the tree. There are four birds in the tree. So there plus be is used to say that something exists in a particular place. There is plus a singular noun. There are plus a plural noun. There is theirs. There are theirs. So how can you tell whether you use is or are? You have to look at the subject. Now the subject, in this case, and this is the one time that the subject comes after the verb. Usually the subject comes before the verb. But when you have this construction, there plus verb plus subject, this is the one time that the subject comes after the verb. So here you have, there is a bird in this picture. There are 7 flowers in this picture. There is a grammar book on my desk. There are many grammar books in this room. There are comfortable chairs in this classroom. There is a nice view from the classroom window. There are interesting places to visit. There is a good place to eat near school. There are fun activities to do on weekends. There are difficult words in this exercise. So that's pretty easy to do. Yes and no questions. Is there any juice in the refrigerator? Yes, there is. No, there isn't. Are there any eggs in the refrigerator? Yes, there are. No, there aren't. So, is there any cheese in the fridge? Yes, there is. Are there any onions in the refrigerator? No, there aren't. Is there a zoo near your city? Yes, there is. No, there isn't. Is there an airport near where you live? Yes, there is. Are there any lakes near where you live? No, there aren't. Are there any good restaurants in your city? Yes, there are. Is there a good Chinese restaurant near where you live? No, there isn't. Is there an art museum near where you live? Yes, there is. So you get the idea. Yes, there is. No, there isn't. Where something is. There plus asking questions with many and how. How many chapters are there in this book? 16. How many provinces are there in Canada? 10. How many words do you see? Or how many words? That's incorrect. You can't say how many word. Anytime you have the word many, you always have to have a plural noun after many. So the noun that follows how many is always plural. Like how many chapters in this book? How many doors in this room? How many floors in this building? Preposition of place. My book is on my desk. Tom lives in the United States. He lives in New York City. He lives on Hill Street. He lives at 4472 Hill Street. So in and on are all prepositions. On is a preposition. My desk is the object of a preposition. And on my desk is a prepositional phrase. A person lives in a country and in a city. A person lives on a street, on an avenue, and on a road. And a person lives at a street address. And then the only way you can know this is to memorize it, just like I did. So Paolo lives in Canada. He lives in Toronto. He lives on Lake Street. He lives at 5541 Street in Toronto, Canada. So Dr. Lee lives on 5041 Lake Street. He lives in Toronto. He lives at 5541 Lake Street. That is Pablo. Oh, Dr. Lee. Oh, I didn't even see this. Okay, let's do this again. Dr. Lee lives on 342 First Street. He lives in Miami, Florida. He lives at First Street. So some prepositions of place. Above, around, at, behind, below, beside, between, far away from, in back of, in the back of, in front of, in the front of, in the middle of, inside, near, next to, on top of, outside, under. The book is beside the cup. The book is next to the cup. The book is near the cup. The book is between two cups. The book is far away from the cup. The book is on the cup. The book is on top of, the cup is on the book. The cup is on top of the book. The cup is under the book. The cup is above the book. The hand is around the cup. The man is in back of the bus. The man is behind the bus. The man is in the back of a bus. Okay, this is hard for students to remember. So here you have the man is in back of the bus. This is the man is in the back of the bus. So that's a little bit different. The man is in front of the bus. The man is outside of the bus. The man is in the front of the bus. The man is in the middle of the bus. The man is inside the bus. The apple is on top of the plate. The apple is beside the plate. The apple is above the plate. The apple is next to the glass. The apple is not near the glass. It is far away from the glass. The apple is inside the glass. The apple is between two glasses. The hand is around the glass. The dog isn't inside the car. The dog is beside the car. So Mary is sitting at a table. There is a candle on the table. There is coffee in the cup. Mary is holding a knife in her right hand. She's eating at a restaurant. She's at home. She's eating breakfast. John is studying in the library. He is sitting at a table. He is sitting in a chair. Her legs are under the table. There are books on the shelves. John is writing on a piece of paper. He's taking notes on a piece of paper. He is reading a newspaper. The librarian is standing at the circulation desk. Another student is sitting with John. So you get the idea of you have to know your prepositions so that a preposition shows time and place. Need and want. We need food. I want a sandwich. Need is stronger than want. Need gives the idea that something is very important. Need and want are followed by a noun or by an infinitive. Infinitive, to plus the simple form of a verb. So you can say we need food. I want a sandwich. Or we need to eat. I want to eat a sandwich. I want some water. I want to drink some water. Linda wants to go to the bookstore. John wants to buy a new dictionary. I need to make a telephone call. I need to have a telephone. Do you want to go to the movies with us? Do you need to buy a new notebook? So sometimes need and want can take the infinitive to. Would like. I'm thirsty. I want a glass of water. I would like a glass of water, which means the same thing. I would like, you would like, she would like, he would like, we would like, they would like a glass of water. I would, you would, she would, he would, we would, they would. I, you'd, she, he, we, they. Would is often contracted with pronouns in speaking. Would is usually contracted with nouns. Tom would like to come. Tom liked to come. I would like to eat a sandwich. Notice that would like can be followed by an infinitive. Would you like some tea? In a question, would comes before the subject. So here, Ahmed and Anita want some coffee. Would you like, Ahmed and Anita would like some coffee. They would like some sugar in their coffee. Would you like a cup of coffee? Yes, I would. Thank you. Would you thank them for their kindness and hospitality? My friends would like to thank you. So you can use would and want, and it's very polite to use I would like. Instead of saying I want, you would say I would like a cup of coffee. So if you want to be polite, to ask for something, that's how you would do it. You don't just say I want coffee. You would say I would like some coffee, please. So that sounds much more polite than saying I want some coffee. So would like is a more polite way of saying want. And I think this is the end of this chapter. And then you get to chapter 6. So chapter 6 is about nouns and pronouns. And so a noun is a person, place, or thing. Birds is the subject. Fly is the verb. John is the subject. Is holding is the verb. A pen is an object. So when you have a noun, nouns can be used as subjects or objects. Subject, birds. Fly, in, preposition. Then the object of the preposition is the sky. John is the subject. Is holding is the verb. A pen is the direct object. In his hand, the whole thing is a prepositional phrase. And then his hand is the object of the preposition. And so Marie is the subject, studies is the verb, chemistry is object of the verb. Then none is the preposition, and then object of preposition. So here you're diagramming sentences and parts of speech. So when you diagram your sentences, it really helps with your sentence structure so that you know how to create sentences. So it's very important that you learn how to diagram. For example, this one, children like candy. Children is the subject. Like is the verb. Candy is the object. There's no preposition in this sentence. The teacher is the subject. Is erasing is the verb. The board is the object of the verb. With her hand. With is the preposition. Her hand is the object of the preposition. So you should learn how to diagram these sentences so that you can improve your sentence structure. When I was a kid, I loved doing this. Mike is the subject. Lives is the verb. There is no object in this one. In Africa, okay? So here you have in as the preposition. Africa is the object of the preposition. Here the sun is the subject. Is shining is the verb. And there's nothing else over here. Robert is reading a book about butterflies. Robert is the subject. Is reading is the verb. A book is the object of the verb. About is the preposition. Butterflies is the object of the preposition. So now you guys get to do this yourself. It's a lot of fun. I don't like cold weather. Alex is a happy child. The hungry boy has a fresh apple. So an adjective always describes a noun, and an adjective always comes before the noun. The weather is cold. The only time the adjective comes after the noun is when you have subject plus is and plus adjective. That's the only time that the adjective cold modifies the weather, which is the same thing as saying cold weather. And so all of these adjectives come before the noun, unless you have he is a good person, that sort of thing, or he is handsome. And so all of this, Italian is the adjective for restaurant. Favorite is the adjective. American is the adjective. Sour, sweet are all adjectives. Important, heavy, noisy are all adjectives because it describes the noun. So basically, that's how you I, you, he, she, it, we, you, they. These are all subject pronouns that come before the verb and always acts as a subject of the sentence. Me, you, her, him, it, us, you come after the verb and always acts as the object of the sentence. And so when you talk, you cannot say me speak English. So if it comes before the verb, you have to say I. You cannot say Bob knows I, because after the verb, you have to use these object pronouns. So before the verb, you use these pronouns, and after the verb, you use these pronouns. It's that simple. I know Tony. He is a friendly person. I like Tony. I know him well. I have a red book. It is on my desk. Mary loves John. He loves her very much. Mary and John love their daughter, Anna. Mary and John, they love her very much. Mary and John love their son, Tom. They love him. He loves her. She loves them. He loves them. They love them. So always we use the subject pronouns before the verb, and we use the object pronouns after the verb. Here you just have to memorize the different ways in which you do plural. 1 pen, 2 pens. 1 apple, 2 apples. 3 apples, 1 cup, 4 cups. 1 baby, 2 babies. And you just have to memorize how you do the spelling of all of these to make everything plural. And just like I had to do in, I think it was first and second grade, memorize the spelling of all of this. And I think that, and if you're a teacher, you got to make it into a game using flashcards. Otherwise, anything that you have to memorize with kids just easily becomes so boring. Child becomes children, foot becomes feet, man becomes men, mouse becomes mice, tooth becomes teeth, woman becomes women. And I remember having to memorize all of this in workbooks. So here you have to just memorize how to make everything plural. One child, and then two children, one woman, two women, one tooth, two teeth, one foot, 2 feet, one man, two men, one mouse, two mice, one fish, two fishes, one page, 3 pages. You get the idea. So, whereas this one's a lot more fun. I love to do this. Anita, subject, carries, verb, her book, object. In is the preposition, her backpack, object of preposition. Snow is the subject, falls is the verb, and there's nothing here. For this sentence, there's no object, no prepositional phrase. So you should try doing this. This is a lot of fun. I is the subject, like is the verb, apples is the object. So this is subject, verb, object, and there's nothing over here. So that's fun to do. So that's the one fun thing about this chapter was the sentence structure diagram. Our parents often call us on the telephone. Tom has a broken leg. I visit him every day. Sue and I are good friends. We spend a lot of time together. Our children enjoy the zoo. We often take them to the zoo. Mary drives an old car. She takes good care of them. Jake and I don't know Mr. Wu. Miss Gray is a lawyer in Chicago. Do you know them? Ahmed lives near Yoko and me. My sister and a friend are visiting me. They are visiting here for 2 days. Do you have the correct time? So this is all about knowing your subject and object pronouns. So subject pronouns come before the verb, object pronouns come after the verb. So I will stop this video here at chapter 7, which is count nouns and non-count nouns. And so count nouns, just so that you have something to look forward to for the next video, count nouns are nouns that can be made plural. Non-count nouns are nouns that cannot be made plural. So all of these, so count nouns are countable nouns. So you have 1 ring, 2 rings, 3 rings, and then a ring is a countable noun. But then jewelry, you cannot make jewelry, you cannot add an S and say jewelries. So that means that jewelry is a non-count noun, which means that's why you've got an X there, because you can't put an S after it. Letter, 2 letters. Okay, that is a count noun. 1 postcard, 2 postcards. Okay, that is a count noun. Some mail. 3, you cannot say some mails. This is a non-count noun. You cannot put an S after mail. And then you're going to ask me, how do you know the difference between a count noun and a non-count noun? Well, I can tell you as a native speaker of English, I can just tell by listening that it doesn't sound right, that you don't say 3 mails. You don't say 3, what was the other one? 3 jewelries. But if you're not a native speaker, you can't tell the difference between a count noun and a non-count noun. So for an ESL student, you have to memorize what nouns are count nouns and what nouns are not count nouns. That is usually when something is the name of a category, it is a non-count noun. And when something is part of a category, then it is a count noun. That is the rule of thumb. And I'll show you that in a second. So here you have count noun, a book, books, 2 books. And then a non-count noun, that's the name of a category. Letters, emails, all count as mail, because mail is the name of a category. Therefore, it is not a count noun. So when you have something that's not a count noun, you can say some mail, a lot of mail. some people, a lot of people. And so here when you have a non-count noun, then you use some and a lot of. And then if you have a count noun, you would use many. Okay, so there's even a difference in how you qualify or quantify it. If you have a count noun, you can say a book or many books. But if you have male, you cannot use a, you cannot use one, you cannot use a mail. You have to say a letter, an envelope, but you can't do that. So with non-count nouns, a noun-count noun does not have a plural form. And so here are some common non-count nouns you cannot add an S to. You can't use many advices, many furnitures, many helps. All of these nouns are non-count nouns and cannot be made plural. That's what's important. Advice, furniture, help, homework, information, jewelry, luck, bread, cheese, coffee, food, fruit, meat, milk, pepper, rice, salt, soup, sugar, tea, water are all non-count nouns that cannot be made plural. And so this is just something you learn as you learn English. He sits on a chair. There are many chairs. Then it's a count noun. He sits on furniture. You cannot say there are many furnitures. So therefore, it's a non-count noun. She has a coin. So a means one. So that's countable. Then that means it's a count noun. She has some money. Every time you see the word some, you know right away that means non-count. And let's go back. So some, a lot of are always used with non-count nouns. Since non-count nouns cannot be counted as 1, 2, or 3, then you can only say some of them. You don't know exactly how many because they can't be counted. Therefore, you say something vague like some and a lot of. And no, I do not know why. And all of these words tend to all be names of categories. That's the only way it's easy for you to remember, is that non-count nouns are names of categories. Here's an example. The category is mail. And then part of that category, letter, envelope, email, that's all mail. Fruit, apples, peaches, oranges, coin, pennies, nickels, dimes, money, dollars and cents, weather. That one I can't, it doesn't always work. But for the most part, when it's some kind of category, then it is non-count noun. And parts of a category tends to be a count noun. So here we use a and an whenever we want to say one. A dog is an animal. So a and an is always used in front of singular count nouns. I work in an office. Mr. Lee is an old man. I have an uncle. He works at a university. I need an hour to finish my work. I live in a house, in a hotel. So here we use some letters. So this is using some, a, and an. Okay, so we use a and an for count nouns, and we use some for non-count nouns. And some can also be used for some plural count noun. That's where the confusion is, okay? Because some can also be used in front of some plural count nouns and not always. Let me rephrase that. I have a pen. A is always used in front of singular nouns. Some is usually used in front of non-count nouns. That's all you have to remember. And you can avoid using some pens by saying I have many pens. That way you don't confuse it with non-count nouns. Okay, so that's a trick. So avoid using, even though this says you could use it, you can use some with plural count nouns, but my advice is to avoid using some with plural count nouns and just use many. That way you don't confuse yourself. Okay, so if I wish I could write this out, but so basically all you have to remember for this chapter is that the count nouns can be counted, count nouns can be made plural, and non-count nouns cannot be made plural. I need some money. I see some desks. I want to listen to some music. Andy wants to buy some flowers for his girlfriend. I need some information. Fred wants to buy some jewelry. Some children are playing in the park. You see how that doesn't sound right? So you would have many children are playing in the park. I can't go to the movie because I have some homework to do. Could you please give me some advice? I have some suggestions for you. I need some help with my homework. We're hungry. We're going to make some sandwiches. So measurement. And so basically, if you're going to have a non-count noun, you use some. And then when you have and then in order to make the non-count noun countable, you would say a glass of water, a cup of coffee, a piece of fruit, and then a bag of rice. This is how you make non-count nouns countable. So you say a bar of soap, a bottle of olive oil, a bowl of cereal, a box of candy. And why all of these are different measurements, you can thank the British for that. Everything you can thank the British. All the irregularities in measurements, you can thank the British for that. A bunch of bananas, a can of corn, a carton of milk. You just have to memorize all of this. A glass of milk. I remember as a kid, I had to memorize all of this, although it's much easier for non-native speakers. But even we had to do that. A jar of pickles, a loaf of bread, a piece of cheese, a sheet of paper, a tube of toothpaste. And I remember one native speaker, little kid, asking, why can't you say a bag of bananas? Why can't you say a bag of cheese? Why does it always have to be those particular words? And then I remember the English teacher, we were in second grade, and the teacher just said, that's just the way it is. You just have to memorize, because she didn't know the answer. There was no answer, because that's just the way it is in English. There's no particular reason, rhyme or reason, why it has to be a jar of pickles and why you don't say a jar of... I'm guessing it's because of the way it was shipped. Usually olive oil was shipped in a bottle, and rice was shipped in a bag. And I'm guessing that because of the way these things were shipped in the beginning, that's how the merchants described the merchandise. And that's probably how these measurements first originated in British English, because when they shipped the rice from China, they shipped it in bags and so on and so forth. When they made the food, they put it into cans. So that's probably where it originated from. To answer that second grade, that little kid, it wasn't me. Usually I was the one asking the teacher those kind of dumb questions. But in that day, it was somebody else. I'm quite proud of that. Anyway, I remember saying, see, Mrs. Smith, it's not me. Yeah, so, yeah, I used to ask all kinds of stupid questions. Why does it have to be like this? I don't get many letters. I don't get much mail. Anne gets a few letters. Tom gets a little mail. Many is used with plural count nouns. Much is used with non-count nouns. A few is used with plural count nouns. A little is used with non-count nouns. So Tom has a lot of problems. Tom has many problems. I don't have a lot of money. I don't have much money. I don't put a lot of sugar in my coffee. I don't put much sugar in my coffee. I have many questions to ask you. They have a small apartment. They don't have much furniture. You can see many people at the zoo. Don doesn't get much mail because he doesn't write many letters. Chicago has many skyscrapers. Montreal has many tall buildings too. Mary is lazy. She doesn't get much work done. I don't drink much coffee. So you'll notice that much is used mainly with non-count nouns, and many is used with count nouns. That's basically what it is, many and much. So much is used with non-count nouns, many is used with count nouns. So that's the difference. So if you know that something is a non-count noun, you use much, and if you know something is a count noun, you use many. Using though, that's so hard. Now for native speakers, using the, it just sounds right. If I say, he's in the kitchen, and then it just sounds right. You don't say he's in kitchen. So for a native speaker, it just makes sense. A native speaker can just hear it and it sounds right. But a non-native speaker will ask why. And once again, you can thank the British for that. There is no why. That's just the way that the English evolved. So where's David? He's in the kitchen. A speaker uses the when the speaker and the listener have the same thing or person in mind. The shows that a noun is specific. I have 2 pieces of fruit for us, an apple and a banana. Which do you want? I want the apple. I don't want the banana. I'd like the apple. Thank you. So if you're choosing which one, do you want the apple? Do you want an apple or a banana? Then you would say, I like the banana. It's a nice summer day today. The sky is blue. The sun is hot. Yes, I really like the summer, or I really like summer. So both A and B are thinking of the same sky. There's only one sky for them to think of, and the same sun. There's only one sun to think of. So here you would use the. If we're having the same sky, you would use the. Mike has a pen and a pencil. The is used with singular count nouns, plural count nouns, non-count nouns. In other words, the is used with each of the 3 kinds of nouns. A pen, the pencil. Mike has some pens and pencils. The pens are blue. The pencils are yellow. Mike has some rice and some cheese. The rice is yellow. The cheese is yellow. Note in the examples, the speaker is using the for the second mention of a noun. When the speaker mentioned a noun for a second time, both the speaker and the listener are now talking about the same thing. I have a pen. The pen is blue. So if you're talking about the same pen that you mentioned in the previous sentence, then you could say the pen is blue if you mention it again. So that's one way of remembering it. I have a notebook and a grammar book. The notebook is brown. The grammar book is brown. So because I mentioned it here, I have a notebook and a grammar book. And I mentioned it already, then I can mention it again and say, the notebook is brown. The grammar book is red, because we're still talking about the same notebook and the same grammar book. Right now, Pablo is sitting in class. He's sitting between the woman and the man. The woman is Graciela. The man is Mustafa. So here we're talking about the same man and woman, so we could use the. Susan is wearing a ring and a necklace. The ring is on her left hand. Tony and Sarah are waiting for their plane to depart. Tony is reading a magazine. Sarah is reading a newspaper. When Sarah finishes the newspaper, Tony finishes the magazine, they will trade. So here you have a, and when you're talking about the same newspaper and the same magazine, then you can use the again. In the picture below, there are 4 figures: a circle, a triangle, a square, and a rectangle. The circle is next to the triangle. The square is next to the triangle and the rectangle. So you can, when you first mention it, you would use a, and then when you talk about a, whatever you mentioned under a, then you use the. So if I say, there is a girl, the girl is sleeping. So you see, a girl. Or you could say, she is sleeping. So both are cool. Where is it? Linda and Anne live in an apartment in an old building. They like the apartment because it is big. The building is very old. It was built more than 100 years ago. I gave my friend a card and a flower for her birthday. The card wished her happy birthday. She liked both the card and the flower. We stayed at a hotel in New York. The hotel was expensive. So if you're still talking about the same thing, then you can use the. I see a chair, a desk, a window, and a plant. Where is the chair? The chair is under the window. Where is the plant? The plant is beside the chair. Do you see any people? Yes, I see a man and a woman. The man is standing. The woman is sitting down. Do you see any animals? Yes, I see a dog, a cat, and a bird in a cage. What is the dog doing? It's sleeping. How about the cat? The cat is watching the bird. Now you get the idea. So when you first mention it, you go a. Then when you describe it, you go the. So that sounds pretty. That's a cool way of remembering when to use a and when to use the. Okay. Using no articles to make generalizations. Apples are good for you. Students use pens and pencils. I listen to music. Rice is good for you. So no article, symbolized by this, is used to make generalizations. And this goes for both plural count nouns and non-count nouns. Tom and Anne ate some fruit. The apples were very good, but the bananas were too ripe. In A, the word apples is general. It refers to all apples, any apples, so no article is used. In E, so that would be the second one, apples is specific, so the is used in front of it. It refers to the specific apples that Tom and Anne ate. So here you have ate some fruit, and then, so here you have generalizations. When you have generalizations, you don't need an article, and then when you're being specific, then you use the article. So you got to know the difference between sugar is sweet. Could you please pass me this sugar? Oranges are orange. Bananas are yellow. There was some fruit on the table. I didn't eat the bananas because they were soft and brown. Everyone needs food to eat, or everybody needs food to eat. Needs food to live. Everybody needs food to live. That's a generalization, so we don't need any articles. We ate at a good restaurant last night. So here you have A. The food was excellent. Oh, the food was excellent. The salt tastes salty. Oh, salt tastes salty and pepper tastes hot. Okay, so you don't have to. It's up to you. Could you pass me some salt? Thanks. And could I have some pepper too? Coffee is brown. Here, all coffee is brown. So you don't have to say the coffee is brown. Stephen made some coffee and some tea. The coffee was very good. I didn't taste the tea. The pages in this book are full of grammar exercises. The books consist of many pages. So you get the idea. Some or any. Alice has some money. Use some in affirmative statements. Alice doesn't have any money. Use any in negative statements. Does Alice have any money? Does Alice have some money? I don't have any money. I don't have any matches. So any is used with non-count nouns and plural nouns. So I don't have any money. You would say, do you need some help? No, I don't need any help. Ken needs some help. Anne doesn't usually get any mail. We don't have any fruit in the apartment. We don't have any apples, any bananas, or any oranges. The house is empty. There aren't any people in the house. I need some paper. Do you have any paper? Heidi can write a letter cannot write a letter because she does not have any paper. Steve is getting along fine. He doesn't have any problems. I need to go to the grocery store. I need to buy some food. Do you need to buy any groceries? Or do you need to buy some groceries? I'm not busy tonight. I don't have any homework to do. I don't have any money in my purse. There are some beautiful flowers in my garden. So you can use any to mean none. Okay? You cannot say he doesn't have no problems. Okay? You have to say he doesn't have any problems. You don't say he doesn't have no problems. So that's a double negative. So we don't have double negatives We always say he doesn't have any problems. So that is a common mistake that you'll hear. Even native speakers make that mistake. We don't need to buy any new furniture. Mr. and Mrs. Kelly don't have any children. I can't make any coffee. There isn't any coffee in the house. Anne doesn't want any Anne doesn't want any cup of coffee. Okay, Anne doesn't want any cup of coffee. I don't like the room because there aren't any windows. Amanda is very unhappy because she doesn't have any friends. I don't need any help. I can finish my homework by myself. I don't have any comfortable chair in my dormitory room. I don't have any problems. Jim doesn't have any cars, so he has to take the bus. I don't have any homework. I don't need any new clothes. I don't need a new suit. So that's how you do it. I do believe, looks like chapter 7 is coming to an end. As soon as they do all this review, and I know that we're coming to the end of this chapter. Okay, I'm going to end this particular video right here. And so chapter 8, 9, and 10 I will do in the next video.